I'm 32 years old. I'm not bad looking in my opinion. I have a normal figure. I go to gym. I usually dress in basic, everyday clothes. I wouldn't exactly call myself ugly. No obvious ugliness in my face. I'm not overweight. I think there is a lack of charm, spontaneity. There is probably a lack of grooming plus a little age-related facial changes, not for the better, which regular facial massage only partially manages to remove. Usually when I look at myself in the mirror, I like myself. And I like to see the changes in my figure from exercise to catch that moment when you realize that you are able to influence it. I'm getting an education now. I work in parallel. The salary is small. There are almost no girlfriends. The relationship with my family is great. I have never had a normal relationship with guys, or maybe it's even more correct to say no relationship at all. I was a virgin until I was 30. I lived in my fantasies about movie heroes for a long time, very ashamed of my virginity after the age of 25. I lived only on entertainment and did not think about studies or career. I got a higher education. Now I am also alone, and for me it is a problem, the key to which I cannot find. So I will describe the last significant relationship for me, as well as my various attempts to communicate with guys. I'm not sure if I'm seeing things right, but I would really like to, no matter how scary it is. I once fell in love with a guy 10 years younger than me, a friend's brother. I fell in love at first sight. I dragged him into the relationship. After a month of talking to him, we slept together. It was not a relationship, but rather sex plus friendship. This format was proposed by myself, explaining to myself and him that I was afraid of relationships with him, afraid of judgment, because he is younger, and our families are well acquainted. He agreed. We hid everything from everyone except for a friend, and it gave us some excitement. I was really torturing myself with it at the time. I realized that I was in love with him, but at the same time I felt that it was all wrong, wild. After all, he is many years younger. I felt like an undefined fool. I kept telling him, "Stop it, we should just be friends. It's not going to end well." He usually sadly agreed. Sometimes he tried to argue, suggesting we try to be together. A couple times he talked about his feelings about it. He asked me why I was so afraid of a relationship with him, but in general, he did not express any strong protest, and I probably wanted to at the time. He would agree with what I said, and then we would meet, and he would hit on me again, and we would have sex again. All our meetings looked like this. He came to see me once a week or two. We drank, talked, told each other about our lives, had sex, corresponded every day. He even confessed his love, and I answered his counter questions, as it seemed to me, honestly. I don't know. There were no dates in cafes, restaurants, trips to the movies. He didn't give me flowers. He had no money at all at that time. He was a student, and there was nowhere to call me, so I called him to my place by myself. Once I even helped him out with money he accepted, but said he was ashamed. When we talked about our weird relationship, he agreed that it's not forever and will end sooner or later. We would break up and just be good friends. It ended up lasting about 6 months and ended horribly for me. When he sent me away, I think he got sick of me. I begged him to give me a chance. I blamed myself for everything. I bit my elbows. Then I got away from him, but for a very long time I was worried and could not come to my senses. For a long time I dreamed of his return. Now it's been 2 years since the breakup. I know that I myself dragged him into this unrelationship. He probably does not remember me at all already. I would like to never hear about him, but sometimes willfully, unwillingly have to, because families communicate. Yes, and a friend I see often. To this day, if he is suddenly mentioned at the family table, for example, I just freeze and I get unpleasant. I don't cry into my pillow like I used to. I don't live in hell. I would even call myself a happy person if it wasn't for the love hole. I haven't been following him for a long time. I can be attracted to other guys, and a lot of guys I cross paths with somewhere through work, sports I like. I don't plan on getting involved with him anymore. He's not in my dreams, but the anger and resentment I feel towards him doesn't go away. Sometimes I even think I'm jealous of him. He's handsome, young, always said that girls fall in love with him by themselves. He's had tons of them and it's still going great. He's in demand. And I'm at the bottom. I have no admirers. Nobody wants me yet. I've tried to change my life for the better and I've done some things. I passed my driver's license. I have goals that I didn't have before. But the love resource is a bust. It's just bad luck. After the breakup, I tried dating whenever I could. There were meetings only for sex for 3-4 meetings with a young guy, and then he quietly ran away from me. There was also a second strange relationship, a couple months only, similar scenario. The guy is also young, but on my initiative, everything ended. I then thought that I was ending everything because there were no feelings on my side, but in fact there were no feelings on his side either. There was no interest from him in my direction. And on my offer to stay friends, he issued an angry letter where he rudely said goodbye. I was very upset by these situations, but I was quite recovered, literally in a couple of weeks, and no anger and resentment. After was a bunch more dates with young guys, but never got further than 3 dates. I'm so unlucky, and I want to start a family. I can't get the guys I like interested in me, but I don't think my standards are too high. I have no criteria at all except appearance and age, like my friends. I do not care how much a man earns, for example, and where he works, whether he works at all. But so far I get only young and handsome. And with them nothing can turn out serious. They cannot consider me more as an adventure. I need to be interested in men of my age and a little older, so that they would be of their own circle, their own format. Apparently, I need to clarify my life goals and change my view on normal relationships. But so far I don't have a relationship. For example, the guy himself called for dates, but did not show any initiative to kiss and touch. I didn't go first either, I was afraid. And then he calls me over to his place for a movie. We watch it, we talk. But he does not want a serious relationship. Apparently, he is just interested in sex. We discussed a little bit our views on all this, on relationships, sex. I concluded that he did not like me, but at the same time he was ready to do me a favor in the form of sex if I took the initiative. It was very bitter and lousy. There was another character, also a handsome young guy. He first asked me to come over to his place to watch the show, and when I said no, we decided to just go for a walk. At the meeting in the first minutes he was some emotionally closed. I had to himself somehow talk to him to find common themes, which in general turned out. He was always trying to touch me somehow. He touched my leg. Using the case, he hugged me. In every possible way shortened the distance. I was pleased, and sex, of course, with him wanted. After the date, he continued to write, but so, superficially, it was obvious that he was not interested in me and just wants sex. He called again to his place to watch a movie in the week. I refused and suggested it was better to ride bikes. He asked if I was afraid to be alone with him. After that, he began to answer completely dry, no more questions. I also stopped writing. And I don't think he will. I haven't slept with anyone else lately. But sometimes I think, since I can't attract anyone, can I at least have sex? Am I really going to go my whole life without sex? It's scary. It seems that sex can satisfy this hunger. Or do I? What can be a way out? Just sleep with those who offer it and want it and accept the fact that love and reciprocity I do not have and will not be. Apparently, I need to learn to consider myself valuable and important to myself, regardless of the presence or absence of a relationship, and it should not affect my self-respect and love for myself at all. I understand that.